2025 Jaguar F-Pace SVR could possibly be the last one of the combustion engine performance Jaguars. And today, thanks to Jaguar of Sarasota, I'm going to be able to take in a complete tour of this vehicle. We're going to check it out as far as the design, powertrain technology, and the test drive. So if you like watching videos like this, don't forget to check out the rest of my channel, hit that like and subscribe button. And now let's get back to this. The F-Pace has been one of the best-selling compact SUVs in Jaguar lineup, and sadly, after 2025, it's going away. So Jaguar is going to stick to their plan of keeping all of their vehicles electric after 2025. This could possibly be the last of the performance Jaguars that we'll see. So let's take a look and see what we have for 2025 model year. On this SVR trim, I love this performance hood. You have this nice bulge right here in the middle. You also have the hot air exhaust on the side. And scrolling down here, you have this huge LED lights with Jaguar LED technology as far as the daytime running lights and turn signals. They're in the shape of this letter J. Now, scrolling down here, you see a lot of open spaces. Now, it serves two purposes. Of course, one is for the better aerodynamics, and two is for the extra cooling of this powerful power plant that we have on the inside. You also have a lot of open air spaces to get the air inside of us through this grille, piano black Jaguar logo, front view camera, and of course we have the SVR trim. Now, for those of you that don't know, the SVR is Special Vehicle Operations Unit that basically does what AMG does for Mercedes and the M does for BMW, and basically makes the car look better, sound better, and move faster, right? So scrolling down here, again, you have some piano black, and down here the splitter is dressed up in the same color as the rest of the vehicle, which, by the way, they call it ultra blue. So if you like that, you can ask for it by name. Underneath this lightweight hood, we have a 5-liter V8 that is supercharged, producing 575 horsepower, which is more than it did last year, and 516 foot-pounds of torque, made it to an 8-speed automatic transmission. The hood is propped up by the hood struts, and it's got some sound insulation. As you can see, the hot air exhaust up on top, and you have the double latches for that extra safety and security. Love the shape of this vehicle. I love the color. This ultra blue really pops, especially with the combination of all of this piano black trim pieces. Just take a look how nicely it wraps around the wheels and at the bottom of the vehicle and the side skirt. Everything around the windows is also painted in the piano black. The low profile roof rails, the mirrors. By the way, the mirrors have the blind spot assist turn signal and the camera inside them. And let's take a look at the wheel and tire setup. So 22-inch rims. Now in the front, we have the Pirelli P0 tires, 265 by 40 on 22 rim. In the back, you have 295 by 35 also on 22. So you have the stagger wheel bend tires. I like the design of the rim. It's a two-tone, two-color. You have some piano black, you have some gunpowder metal, and in the back, you see the huge rotors and the red painted calipers for, of course, that extra stopping power for this performance beast. Now let's move to the back and see what's going on there. And here it is in the back. You have the gate spoiler with another spoiler on top of it, LED brake light. Now you have the windshield wiper or window wiper that's exposed right here. Black Jaguar logo and this huge LED light. So LED lights include pretty much everything. So you have turn signals, your brake lights, your reverse lights. By the way, you have the additional reverse lights down here at the bottom, and reflector lights are here on the side. Now, one thing that I would probably like change is the color of this exhaust. Now we have the chrome tips, which kind of stands out, but if they were black, I think would kind of blend more with this vehicle. Let me know what you think about it. But you have the quad exhaust. You also have the trailer hitch down here at the bottom. Of course, the rear view camera. And let's pop this open. Let's see how much room we have for storage. Of course, the power lift gate opens nice and tall. I'm 6 feet tall, fit nicely underneath here. You have the lock or close for the gate, and let's see how much room we have. Here in the back, you have quite a bit of storage. Now, considering it competes in the compact SUV category, there's quite a bit of it. Now, as far as the rest of the setup here, you can see the levers right here that's going to help you to fold down the seat, and you can either fold down the 40 part or the 40 plus 20, that's 60 part, to extend the room even further. Now you have the 12-volt cigarette lighter style adapter. You have some illumination down here, and this vehicle has some goodies from the factory. Underneath here, you'll find a temporary use spare tire, but this is there just for those of you that are wondering. And then you have the cargo cover that is, of course, removable too. So if you need to carry something that's a little bit taller, you can take this out. And before we get inside and take a look at the rest of this vehicle, let's make sure we hear how it sounds. I'm going to start this interior tour right at the rear door panel. So for those of you that complain that your car is too plasticky, maybe consider one of those, because there's nothing plasticky about it. This is all soft trim, with the exception, of course, of this carbon fiber trim and the aluminum door handle. You have the Meridian stereo, surround sound stereo. And then, of course, at the bottom, you have some storage and another speaker. Getting inside of this 2025 Jaguar F-Pace, the rear seats are even profiled, nice and sporty. You have the Jaguar right in the headliner, SVR embossed right on top. This is all real leather. Now we have the cup holders in this middle console, and for the rear passengers you have the heated rear seats. You also have your own vents, USB Type-C, and the cigarette lighter style adapter. Now 4 people can fit in comfortably, but the 5th one, because of this huge bump in the middle, might not be so comfortable after all. Let me see if I can fit in behind this fancy seat. Let's take a look at this. It has some seat back pocket, and it has nice stitching in the back as well. Well, let's see if there's any room for passengers in the back here. I'm almost 6 feet tall, and I fit in just fine. Okay. If I sit straight up like this, my knees are almost touching. They're right there within like 1/4 of an inch, but they're not. I have about 1.5 inches above my head. I have plenty of shoulder room. The seats are a little bit on the firmer side, not super comfortable, but you can feel the quality of the leather. Couple things before we get inside, and I'll show you the rest of this interior on this vehicle. Let's check this out. On the front, you have this air exhaust. That air that gets channeled through. It's coming into the front air curtains, and it's coming out right here in the back of the wheels. Now, also, all 4 of the door handles have the little indents, and what that means that this vehicle is equipped with a keyless entry system, so you can simply get close to this vehicle or stick your hand inside of the door handle. It's going to unlock it for you. And of course, we can't forget about this panoramic sunroof. Now let's listen to the sound of the closing door. Nice and solid. I'll give it about 8 or 9 out of 10. And the front door panel, also same and luxurious as we've seen in the back. In addition, we have the 3 memory seat settings, of course, the Meridian surround sound, and we have the window, mirror, and lock controls. More storage at the bottom, another speaker, illuminated Jaguar on the door sill, and we have a bunch of controls for the seats. And then, of course, goes for the driver and passenger seats. Now, as far as the seats themselves, now they're definitely sport seats. So you have the SVR in the headrest, you have the Jaguar right here, and this little window that's all aluminum. I like the design of it. They are stiffer, so just be aware if you're looking for a sporty vehicle like this, it's not going to be as comfortable as the regular Jaguar F-Pace. Now down here, you see a little bit open space. That's because we have this floating console that allows you to put some more stuff and hide it out of sight. And then you have rubber and aluminum as far as the pedals. Let me jump inside. I'll show you the rest of this interior. And here's the interior of this 2025 F-Pace. Definitely premium, definitely sporty. I love the combination of different materials that they use. Let's just check this out. This, I believe, is leather wrap. This is carbon fiber. And then we have this suede, the Alcantara, which, by the way, includes also the Alcantara headliner. And that's all on top here. Now we have the aluminum trims around the vents, and again the Alcantara right here on top of the instrument cluster, that hood that goes on top of it. We also have the head-up display. As you can see, it's going to be hard to read for you, but we have the gear indicator as well as the speedometer that's displayed there right now. As far as the steering wheel, nice and sporty. Now the top of the steering wheel, the outside of it, has different texture. We also have some thicker parts for that better grip, and of course it is stitched up with two different color threads basically. I like how it looks. You have the aluminum pedal shifters in the back, and both sides of the steering wheel have a set of switches. Now this, as you can see, controls the voice control. You can also display all the safety features of the vehicle. And then we have the scroll and OK as far as what's going on in the instrument cluster. We have this jumping kitty right in front of you, and on the other side you have controls for the cruise control, the adaptive cruise control. Of course, you can set up the gap between you and the car in front of you. SVR right here at the bottom, and another SVR at the bottom of the instrument cluster. Let's see what's going on here. So you have several different display options. This is the more classic one. On the right hand side you have that tachometer. On the left hand side you have the speedometer, which goes up to 210 miles per hour. So display layout, you can have two dials. You can have one dial, and then you can set up the left info panel, right info panel. Now we're going to go back. We also have the map media driver assistance. I'm going to go back to this two dial, the standard setup. But as far as the info panel, okay, so we have the media, trip summary, driver's assistance, and empty panel. And if you hit OK to select, it's going to kind of get you into the sub menu. So that's what's going to display in the middle. So you can see this map got bigger. So it's a brand new vehicle. It's got 10 miles on it. SVR at the bottom with 75 degrees outside, but probably 200% humidity. And this is your instrument cluster, lots of customization. And we have this new PV Pro system right here, the slightly curved screen. And I've been saying my praises on this system for a long time. Personally, I like it a lot. I think it's very classy, and it's give you pretty much all of the information that you need. So here's your navigation system, of course, the shortcuts, favorite foods, etc. Then you can go back to your home screen. You can connect the phone, wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. As far as the media, you have the AM, FM, and the Sirius XM. The different stations that are displayed here. What else do we have? Well, let's hit this app button. So it's going to see all of the available features, navigation, accounts, seat. I'm going to check this out. So seat heat, let's push that. Okay, I'm going to turn this on. Now we're cooling the seat. So you have the 3-stage cooling on the seats and 3-stage heating. Now I'm going to leave that at that because it's still really sticky. And I go back to the apps. As far as your climate control, this is one way to adjust it. You can see where the air is coming in from. You just tap it to turn it on or turn it off, or you can turn it off completely with using the power button. And the cameras, that's an important thing as well. Of course, each of these icons represent of which view you can see. So let's say I hit that one in the corner. It's going to move this vehicle here, and it's going to show me that from the driver's side. And, here's the back of it, and here's from the distance. Now you have the cameras that are from the inside out, okay? So the wide view, narrow view, and the same thing in the back. Good quality cameras. There's no complaints here. Once I put it in reverse, you can see the trajectory lines appear, and they're also on the top down view camera too. So that kind of gives you an idea of where you're backing in and if you're safe to back out of a parking spot. Let's go back to some of the other apps. We have the Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, Valet Mode, Dynamic. So, I mean, it is a sports vehicle, sports SUV, right? So you can actually select the features on the individual gear or individual drive mode to see what they are. Engine, we have everything in dynamic right now. You can also select the stopwatch, lap time, and the G meter right here. You have a pedal graph. So see the throttle and the brake. I'm hitting the brake right now, or I hit the throttle. You get the point, right? You get back to low traction lounge. So if we're in a situation where it's really slippery, You can do that. Towing and trailers. Okay, you can add the trailer, see what you're towing. General cargo, caravan, horse box, caravan. It's like a camper, right? In Britain, it's a caravan. Okay, so we'll go back to the main setup here, cabin lighting. Okay, so it's really hard to see it right now, but it's off. But if I have this classic dimmer, let me see, maybe it's gonna look better if I put it in the ocean blue. Let's see where that's coming from. Well, I don't see much anywhere here, to be honest with you. But we can animate it too. Too bad I don't have this vehicle anywhere inside, so I can show you that. But I'm gonna go back to the home screen, the apps. We have the park assist, all surface information. Okay, so again, I can turn the steering wheel and it's gonna show me. It doesn't show me, however, the angle that the wheels are turning at, which is interesting. We also have the JDC info. Those are basically your driving modes. So we have the comfort mode, eco, ADSR. So this is used on adverse surface conditions. And this is pretty much it. I'm going to show you where to change those drive modes. I like this system. Down here, in typical Jaguar and Land Rover fashion, we have these dials that are multi-function. But before we get to it, let's look in the middle here, and you see established 1935 Jaguar Coventry. Okay, so we have some shortcuts for your climate control, for your seats, and with the dials right here. Right now, I have the temperature controls. You can see the system settings. Basically, it's on auto. I want to pull it to reduce the fan speed because it's way too loud if I leave it on auto. Or I can push it to adjust the heating or cooling of the seats. So both of these dials do the same thing. So they actually serve three different functions without cluttering up the space. Now we have the wireless charger. I like this SVR shifter, really nice and sporty. That's where you change your drive modes. You push it, and then right here in the instrument cluster, we have the comfort, dynamic, eco, and adverse surfaces, right? That's what it's called. And once you select the adverse surfaces, you basically is going to see that on the screen too. I'm going to leave it in the dynamic mode. We're going to check that out while driving. You also have the controls. Here's your active exhaust that you can see here, as well as the traction control. You can turn that on or off. And you have the trail assist, start stop button, volume, and power. And then we also have cup holders, the 12-volt power outlet, and more storage right here in the back. Okay. As far as the mirror, we have the HomeLink system. I don't have this digital mirror and this particular one. And this is where you open the shade for the panoramic sunroof. It is nice and long. And because it's raining, I'm actually not going to open the sunroof to get rained inside this beautiful cabin, but that's where you do it. And then you have SOS, and you have the mechanical, I believe, assist. Here on the visors, nothing crazy, but you have some illumination here. And somebody asked me on another car, why do we have this? Now, my understanding that this is for either documents for the vehicle, like a registration card that, most people just keep it somewhere in the glove box. You can also use it to stick a parking ticket if you are parking on the garage somewhere. But pretty much something that it's going to hold to the documents down here. This is pretty much it. This is the whole interior of this 2025 Jaguar F-Pace SVR. Let's take it for a spin. And of course, before we take it for a spin, let's take a look at the pricing. This particular one, it's called the F-Pace SVR 575 edition. It starts at $92,400. This particular one is just over $102,000, and I'll post all of the equipment that has been added to this vehicle in the description of this video. 575 horsepower, 3.8 seconds 0 to 60. Then the step down from here is the P400, which I covered in the previous video, starting MSRP at 66,500. We have 395 horsepower with that one at 5.1 seconds acceleration. And the base Jaguar F-Pace for 2025, it's called the P250 gasoline engine, 246 horsepower, 6.9 seconds 0 to 60, starting MSRP at $57,000. But I'm sure you didn't come here just to listen to me talk. Let's drive. I like the way it feels. I mean, it's not a big SUV, so keep that in mind. But if you don't have many people that you're bringing with, it's just the right size. I mean, the seats are definitely a performance seat, so you're going to feel that. It's not a very comfortable seat, but, you know, if you're doing a lot of more aggressive driving, they're definitely going to keep you in place. As far as the suspension, I have it set up to this dynamic mode. And look at this. I'm moving this vehicle side to side. Now, I'm not going really fast, but even if I speed up a little bit, I mean, it stands still. It really holds on to the road like a typical sport vehicle would. Love the sound of it. Okay, yeah, I know there's a lot of faster vehicles that are electric or electrified. The C63S, the Mercedes, the 4-cylinder with the electric motor with an insane 671 horsepower. But I missed the sound of the V8 that it previously had. So that's unfortunately where Jaguar is going with the new vehicles after 2025. We're going to have more of the electric vehicles and none of the combustion engine vehicles. So let's see how this vehicle handles on the road. Set up higher, nice windshield, decent size mirrors, so no complaints here. I like that head-up display. Now that the rain cleared up a little bit, we have the visibility on it. I can see in this dynamic mode, I can see the RPMs as well as the speed. And merging right here in traffic. Now, immediately, I don't know about you, but that sounds put a smile on my face, especially with those back crackles and that you can hear coming from the exhaust. Very quiet in the cabin now, unless you push the accelerator. That's what happens. But overall, when you're just driving it, no noise is coming into the cabin. Almost can't hear any of the tire noise, road noise. Very nicely insulated. Holds on to the road really good. I'll be sad to see this vehicle go. Such a nice driving vehicle. I'm not going to beat on it, but I will push it a little bit right here on this side road to kind of check out the acceleration and see what it's all about. Okay, we're getting down to 0. Let's go. All right, again at about maybe 60-70% throttle, because it's a brand new vehicle. It goes, it flies. Corners here, no issues. It holds on to the road. Love the suspension of it, love the stiffness, and at the same time the ride comfort is actually very good. The tires, I thought the tires are going to be bumpy because of the lower sidewall, but they're not. I mean, you can feel that they're sporty tires, but they're also very grippy too. So no complaints as far as the drive. And if you're looking for a vehicle as such, sporty one, then definitely check this out, because this is something you might not see in the future, especially this. Wow. Unbelievable. We're gonna finish this video. We're gonna say the farewell to this icon, because after 2025, no more combustion engine. Such a shame. Guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you found one or two things that you learned about this brand new 2025 Jaguar F-Pace SVR. And if you did, it would mean a lot to me if you subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and turn on that bell notification ring bell so you won't miss any of the content that's coming out. And I'll see you in my next video. Cheers.